cherish the day, won't go astray, won't catch me running, won't catch me running. I'll cherish the won't, 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 won't. I'm a Sade fan. And the crazy thing about Sade's music is that it was all very sad. We were rocking out. I know when I was making slow jam tapes to get ready for my company, to get ready for my sexy time, Sade would make every slow jam tape. Like it would be some Sade joints. And that shit wasn't sexy. It's sultry, but Sade sang the blues, right? And as I think about that, you know, what the blues are, what the sexy music is, what it means to be sexy, what it means to be this. Who did I get my tips and hints from? Where we learn that? We just get thrown out into the wild, and then we got to start learning stuff. I know my generation, at least, we got pushed out the nest without certain key information that you're gonna need as an adult. So, I don't know, man. We just need to know better stuff sometimes. We gotta step the game up when it comes to parenting or unking or auntieing or teaching, you know? I'm up here thinking that Sade crying over a man is some cool music to get some bump off of. Ha! Ha! Won't go astray. Won't catch me running. Won't catch me running. Oh, she was scrambled. She was emotionally in the blender. And I'm thinking that's you want to get rubbed on to some Sade. I don't think that's the music to get rubbed on to. That's the music to hug somebody, throw them a blanket, make them a little tea, sit there and listen to them. Even help them clean the house, like help them clean out a trunk, of old memorabilia that might remind them of their ex or something like that. You know, that's what I think. It's a lot of stuff that we've done, and I think we were the ones who had the focus on how something could have gone, and we just missed the opportunity to teach, or we purposefully mistaught because we didn't want to be uncomfortable. Ain't that about a blip? Ain't that about a blip? Today's episode is something where I've gotten into this groove where I'm thinking about there's so many simple questions with complex answers. And that's one of them. The simple questions, they start with, who taught you that? The answer's kind of complex. And there's several ways that we could dip and dally out of that. And then I want y'all to tune in to yourselves and ask, like, what simple questions do I have that I might just ask, or preferences that I have? But the answer is kind of complex. What may they be? What might they be? It's a little trickier than you think. But that's what we're going to get into on episode 5-7 of Sorry for My Language. Fool with me. I like this little groove. Welcome to episode 57 of Sorry for My Language. Sorry for my language. That means, like, if you got offended or if you had to pearl clutch, sorry. You know, but then I keep going. So it's like, sorry, not sorry. Oh, man. This could be an episode within an episode, but as I even say the term sorry for my language, I think about the word sorry, right? Sorry to me is the ultimate humbling, shrinking, apologetic. I see the God in you moment. I recognize I was out of line. I disrespected something. Sorry, right? But you usually don't want to utter the word sorry out of your mouth because it's something about your mind that just detects the data and it doesn't always put it in context. So if you say sorry, then your mind might perceive it as I'm a sorry ass person. It all depends on how you look at that, how you look at the meaning of things. But the word sorry, it could mean I apologize, and I think I apologize is a better way to say stuff. But when you say I'm sorry, if you just take those two words, I'm sorry, and put them together, either it could mean like a Middle Eastern woman's garment, a sorry, or it can mean just those two words, I'm sorry. It can mean I ain't about shit, or it can mean I apologize. So the mind, depending on the way that you downloaded I'm sorry into your mind, it might echo this for like deep within your subconscious, and then you might be saying some shit that's really detrimental. So I'm not sorry. I'm just saying sorry for my language. And that's where we are, and that's what that is. I just wanted to explain that in real time. But I know it seems I'm meandering around this roller coaster of love that I have for you, but just stay with me.
I said stay with me. I said stay with me. It's a hot July day. Oh, we gonna sweat a little bit today. We gonna sweat cause it's July.
Alrighty, Daddy. Alrighty. All right, guys.
I kinda like that. Y'all like that?
So anyway, back to what I was talking about. I need like little mnemonic devices to get me back on point. Back to what we on. Sorry for My Language is a show that's sponsored by Grindstone Universal. Grindstone Universal is a place where progress is made and truth is revealed. We're the epitome of urban luxury. I'm not lying. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com. Put it together like good weather. Go visit the website. Go visit grindstoneuniversal.com right now. Clear it out. Clear it out. It's fly stuff on there. And I'm sure even if you've been to the site, it's stuff in nooks and crannies of that site that you've yet to see. So I appreciate everybody who visits, who partakes in the purchasing carousel of this wonderful art form that I indulge in called fashion and called art, visual art. This art behind me. Nah, you can't really see it. Let me see. This piece right here and that piece right there, they're done by me. And I guess that is a y'all. So go to grindstoneuniversal.com and let's get fly. So real briefly, we have teachable moments that we miss. And I actually taught myself something last night. Like many of you, you're probably scared to death of mediocrity. It can haunt you. It may even be something from childhood where you would have got your ass whooped for bringing home a C. Or where if your bed wasn't all the way made or whatever it might have been. And even if it didn't have to come from your parents, whoever your authority figure was, they probably held you to a standard. And then even if it wasn't an authority figure, it was probably the consequence that led you to say, damn, I gotta do above and beyond in order to get like some basic results. I gotta do my thing on some above and beyond type business. And with that, a lot of the times the authority figure would introduce the consequence or the threat of the consequence in a harsh way. And last night, it was actually like yesterday, around dusk, I noticed that I really drag myself down in ways that I talk to myself sometimes. And I try not to be about that negative self-talk, but sometimes, man, I be talking it up. And I'm real tough on myself, but then I thought about it with clear mind, and I was like, the reason why I probably go so hard on myself in a derogatory way is because some of the most impactful people in my life, when it came to giving directions, they taught me tough. And as their surrogate voice, I talk to myself tough. But it's not healthy because I'll be on my head top with that shit. And it might be about something that was out of my control. Matter of fact, I caught myself talking down to myself about some shit yesterday that was totally out of my control. But it was a hindsight is 2020 type thing. But, and then so talking back to myself, I was like, you know what? But I did my best. In that moment, I did my best. That time, I was doing my best. I gave myself the proper time, consideration. I exhausted the resources that I thought, like outside of myself, that I thought I had to answer questions, said questions. And I remember doing my fucking best. Now, a couple things did not go the way I would prefer them to go. But if given the same opportunity, I would do the same thing because I was given a certain amount of information and I only had so much information about the future. And that's where the fuck it ended, right? So the place where I learned my lesson was in forgiving myself. And I did not forgive myself for any level of mediocrity. I forgave myself for things that did not work out, but in situations where I did my best. Oh, shit, my air conditioner made a hell of a noise. Oh, my air conditioner doing its best. It's hot today. Shit. Oh, I guess we're at desired temperature right now. I don't know. I never heard that sound of the AC. I was just saying it was hot, midsummer July. Come on now. Maybe I just wanted to listen to the broadcast as well. But anyway, I did my best in a few situations. I acknowledged that, and it was cool. I was let off of the hook. My soul was freed because just saying I did my best and knowing that I did my best, that shit was pretty cool. And actually, when I was swimming yesterday, it's something about swimming that's really peaceful to me. So I'm swimming and I'm kicking and I'm keeping my back straight and I'm doing all the shit, right? And I'm really doing my best. But my time was not like some of my best times of the past. It definitely wasn't the worst, but it wasn't one of those times that I wasn't impressed about what I was doing time-wise. But, I was like, shit, there's probably several factors that lead to how I'm moving through the water today. I don't know what they are, but I'm doing my best. And in doing your best, there's profit there. You gain from that. And which makes it subjective and not objective, right? So it's not like the objectivity of the time, it's the subjectivity of how your best is being applied and how you're doing your best in that moment. And just by taking that swimming pool lesson and applying it to other things in my life, I was able to say, we're going to be all right over here. And it sucks when you don't do your best because then you have to do the shit over again. And you have to do your best this time. But now you spent twice the time in your life out of your limited amount of time on this planet. You spent twice the time doing the same thing because the first time you didn't do your absolute best. You didn't empty your whole motherfucking tank. You found excuses like a little biatch to make you get off the hook and tell yourself what you deserve in terms of grace. You don't deserve grace until you've done your absolute best consistently. And so I let myself off the hook because I did my best consistently in certain things. And even in that moment in the pool, I was doing my best. So it gave me the update on how you have to be presently doing your best. And I was cool with that. I just want to get that off. Thank you. All right. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. What I'm here to discuss today. Real chitter chatter. I'm here to talk about simple questions that have complex answers. I'll give you a easy one. A real easy one. This is one that you could ask yourself. How did you learn about sex? Not the rumor of sex, but how did you learn about how to actually have sex? Who taught you?
Oakland, California, that's where I'm from. Don't stop macking. Don't stop tapping. Don't stop macking. Don't stop.
Did you learn in an environment where somebody was telling you don't stop macking? Like, where did you learn about sex and the different nuances in your own body? Was it in a place or in an environment or from sources that you would reteach your own children about? Would you have your own children take that same course? Take that same course of action to learn about sex and their bodies? Simple question. How'd you learn about sex? How'd you learn to have sex? How'd you learn how to please somebody? How'd you learn to find yourself present in the moment during sex? Another simple question with a complex answer is, how do you expect your kids or your nephews, whoever you're looking after, whoever you care about, how do you expect them to learn about sex and its nuances? Are you going to talk to them about it? Huh? Are you going to say, your little boy, you need to do this and that? Wait, hold up. I pressed the wrong button, but I was about to go off the dome. I mean, think about it. Sex, you be on your kids, in your kids' world about their homework, about their basketball practice, about their Jack and Jill, about their Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all that stuff, right? Or whatever, clean up the house. But one thing that's going to outlast most of this that I just mentioned is their sex life. How can you be so in tune with this person you brought into the world and keep them so separated from one of the things that is going to be pretty much a driving force in their life? Whether they're driven to have sex or it's the glue between companionship, how are you going to talk about it? Now, me personally, I didn't really tell my son a lot in the critical years about sex. My stuff was like, don't get pregnant, or a lady wants a man with a slow hand. I dropped little game on him, but I didn't really sit him down because as a parent, I didn't want to steer him to thinking about sex. So hypocritical. Because I know when you're 11 as a boy, and maybe even before 11, you're Adidas with it. All day I dream about sex. Like straight up. Like you might be looking like you're thinking about other things, but you're thinking about it. Really when it's you about 9. Like you at least looking at things jiggle and bounce. Oh, Miss So-and-so, okay. Like that, really. So if you have a kid that's like 9 and up, how you expect them to learn about sex? I used to sneak and watch Showtime late at night. And I would like look at the book that had the ratings in it. And then like if it was an N in there for nudity, I'm up all night looking for that nudity moment. So I could just learn another little something. And then maybe a friend might have a VHS of a porn or something, and then I gotta watch what they do. And so I know like whoever I was fucking at first, they got fucked like a porn. You know, I was not taking them into consideration at all. I was imitating what I saw on a show or something. And then this book is probably still in print. And I really think this is a good book. Go find this book. It's called The Joy of Sex. And The Joy of Sex really breaks down. It was written in hippie times, you know, but it's like a line drawn book, but it's really comprehensive about stuff about sex. I read through that book. I'll be reading, I had to just do multi-sourcing to find what the fuck was about, like how you supposed to do this and what this means in relation to another person, in relation to companionship. Even when it comes to personal hygiene during sex. Like, I didn't fucking know. Shit. I remember the first pussy I ate. This shit was like, she might have fucked around been 88. I had braces. Man, I know she didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I didn't know what was going on. But, man, I came up, it looked like I was growing hair on my teeth. It was like, now there was no funky smell going on, but I'm saying it was no trim, it was no nothing going on, and I just had hair all in my braces. I didn't know, but I thought that was sex, right? We trying it all. We doing all the different things. And shout out to that. You got to live a little, right? But most of the things that I was doing because I was mimicking. And a lot of the stuff that I was mimicking, to say the very least, they're from very unsavory sources. And I wouldn't want to walk somebody who I love down the same course where I found my instructions. I mean, it went from hide and go get it to it was just whatever. It was just whatever. And that curiosity gets dangerous without instruction. It gets very dangerous without instruction. 7 minutes in the closet, like all the ridiculous shit. You know? And I just think that if you have somebody who you're looking after and loving as a child, who's looking at you as an authority figure, and maybe not your baby, but somebody who will listen to you, you need to fucking empty the whole booklet on them about what sex means and how to do it good. Now, how you do that? I don't know. I'm not talking about the fucking. I'm talking about how you begin to explain this and get people familiar with themselves and all that shit. It's a very uncomfortable conversation. But it's a conversation, if they don't have it with you, they gonna have it with a pimp named Slickback. Oh, you best believe a pimp named Slickback is laying in the cut, ready to have this conversation with them, with your baby. With your baby who you sending off to college, who you sending off to camp. I mean, think about it. When you went to camp, didn't you want to fuck at camp? Like when you were young and nobody thought you was thinking about sex. Didn't you want to like hit off an instructor? Because the camp counselors are fucking each other. Like at your average camp, if it's co-ed, they fucking. And so that just seemed like the coolest thing to be doing, and your elder loved ones keep that removed from you in a way where it becomes taboo, but this is a lifelong thing that you gonna be doing, so you have to learn somewhere. So the simple question, how you gonna learn about sex? I mean, how your kids gonna learn about sex? The complex answer is how you teach them. I don't have the answer for you, but I recommend you open the booklet of conversation. So not only when they fucking good. They're conscious of themselves before they even get down with somebody. They know how to handle all the nuances of self. And then they're able to make the next person come and come back. I'm just saying, don't you want your kid to be the best? Somebody gonna have to talk to them. Shit, maybe I need to be on this joint and be the new Dr. Ruth. You know, I don't know. And it's not just limited to younger people learning, but sometimes when, as life changes, as your body changes, as time changes, you need to learn what sex looks like on this level. Who's talking about that? Dr. Ruth, shout out to her. For those of you all who are unfamiliar with Dr. Ruth Westheimer, she used to really be chopping it up on prime time cable TV every day. Dr. Ruth had a show. She was probably the most popular person in like 87 through 90. Like she was the one. She was viral, And she had a show, people would call in. She was streaming. How about that? Where people would call in and she would take live calls and people would mention their sex life, their insecurities about sex, their whatever. And she would sit there and answer all the damn questions. And you could learn a lot. And I don't think we have that figure. All we got is like Diamond and Nessa, on TikTok, not even TikTok, but like, just on social media, just telling you how they just freak them down and do all that. And to me, that's not the art of sex. That's the art of overindulgence. It's not even the art of seduction. The thing that we're getting now that's called sex, that ain't sex. That's like I don't know, it's like fast food of intercourse. It's not the gourmet. Like all that BBL booty shaking, all that stuff that we getting on like through our social media that's teaching a lot of kids about sexuality. A lot of people, I gotta stop saying kids because it's not just kids, but a lot of people about sexuality. That's not sexuality. It's something else. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's something else. It's just as mixed up as putting Sade on your slow jam tape thinking that that's sexy. It's a set of emotional confusion that manifests itself physically. Is I'm lying? I don't know. But even with that being said, so now you have, here's another simple question. Complex answer. This might not even be a question, but I'm not going to pose it as a question, but it's going to present as a question. So now the conversation is loud. You have women in their 40s and 50s who want to fuck dudes in their 20s and 30s. And now they're talking about it. It's not like just a secret desire or a sneaky link. It's a loud conversation, right? Women in their 40s and 50s want to get with dudes in their 20s and 30s. I'm fine with that. Men in their 40s and 50s want to get with women in their 20s and 30s. Right? So that's generally leaving men in their 40s and 50s not wanting to get with women in their 40s and 50s and vice versa. Now, how do you manage that? So women, you want to get down with dudes in their late 20s and their 30s, right? You want them to throw that back out. You in your 40s, you in your 50s, and it might even edge onto the very early part of the man's 40s. But let's say, late 20s all the way through the 30s, you're in your 40s and 50s, and you want that young man to come knock it down, right? Let's talk about how you manage that. When I was, I'm going to say 25, I was fucking with somebody who was 30. Wait, is that right? Or was I 26 and she was 30? It might have been, nah, I'm getting the ages fucked up, but she was older, right? And she was the first person to teach me about Japanese food. And I had never had Japanese food. I had never had sushi, right? And so she's older, like that age gap, whatever it was, even though like the numbers seem low, it was like a lot older in life experience. So she's teaching me about sashimi and sushi and how to eat with chopsticks, how to mix the wasabi with the soy sauce, all that shit, right? Now we go home and I'm throwing her all over the bedroom and she touching all the furniture in the whole crib. I'm banging it down, right? the way that we got down, she really, really fucked with me. And I really, really fucked with her, but we never were a public thing. It was just, we was cool. But there was a certain level of exposure that I didn't have at that time, just due to, I'm gonna say my age, but that she had above me. So there was a certain level of teaching that was going on. And I think I'm an advanced person, right? I'm an advanced motherfucker. But women, and this was like mid 20s, early 30s or 30. Imagine if the dude is 28 and the lady is 45. It's so much of a gap right there. You're going to have to teach this nigga everything about life. He going to know what he knows, but you're going to show him how to park valet. You showing him how to take that shirt to the cleaners. You showing him a lot of different shit that he's just casually picking up. Like, oh shit. You know, you're going to have to kind of mama this guy a little bit, right? You're going to have to, with your educated, big in age, having self, you're going to have to accept the fact that your new boy man puts on a headset and plays video games. I know, Stella, you getting your groove back, but you're going to be fucking with a nigga who plays video games. And you have a son. And somewhere in your mind, you're going to be like, ew, he does what my son does. Wait, you and my son like the same game. So for Christmas, you might even buy these niggas the same thing. I'm just saying, I don't have the answers, but how do you manage that? Now, you might have a dude, he's like really mature-ish on his shit. He's good for his age. He has a good career, ambition, job, or whatever. He might have that shit. He could dress, all that shit. He's body slamming you in the bedroom, all that shit, right? But the fact that y'all got this age gap, there's naturally some stuff that's not there. And when you're looking at him as a boy toy, and he's really looking at you like, this shit is clicking. As the older woman, you're going to have to start doing the stiff arm thing. You're going to have to start keeping Buddy away because he's open now. He's like, oh, hell yeah, I want to introduce you to my friends. Or you're like, oh, hold on, boy. Hold on. My friends can't know our little secret. Or your friends can't know, I can't bring you around, nigga. You're wearing slides. Like, what the fuck, dude? You got like the braid fade and you play video games, nigga. My friends, they're gonna think you're cute, but it's not. No. And then he's not gonna understand because y'all really do have a good relationship. But socially, it probably won't sync all the way up. So now you have to turn into, you're like a female nigga now, right? You got to keep this boy at bay. You're lightweight, breaking his heart. It's kind of not fair because you're one person in one way and another person another way. But he just has to understand he got to keep it gangster. And now you are teaching him a life lesson about being used. And that's what it is. How do you manage that? How do you manage it when he thinks it's love and it's like, and it's convenience, but he really is like caught up? What you do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? When he really has more in common with your nephew or your son than he has with you. But y'all have this Venn diagram where you intersect and the links be linking. But you can't take this off into your life. You a professional, right? Right? You was fucking with older dudes when you was younger. You can't reel this in reverse and really publicize this, right? You got an ego. You have an image, right? So I don't know, but I'm just saying he gonna be playing video games. He gonna be wearing a do-rag. And, it's gonna be certain places you're gonna have to teach him how to hold that knife and fork. I'm just saying. That's how it is. If you're, on your echelon type shit. And if you feel like doing that, then it works out. But just how do you manage that? So a lot of times you don't. A lot of the times the detachment in how this can really work serves you to your benefit because you know it can never work. But you could just always get your oil changed. But you got to explain that to the nigga in hopes of not breaking his heart. Men dating younger women, this shit goes the same way. You think you keeping it gangster? Y'all met in the same little place? You know, shit. It's so many more women than men. And now that gray hair and all that shit is in style, men who keep themselves up in their 40s and 50s, you have like it's the whole range of joints to pick from. And how do you not break a heart? How does somebody not fall in love? How does somebody not want to have your baby? It's tough. So you got to navigate that shit way more differently, way more complex than when you just thought it was I want some company. Because now you got a heart involved, and hopefully you don't have no fetus heartbeat going on. Hopefully. So we just have to figure this out. And at the bottom of it all, for a lot of the women, you're dealing with scarcity. There are not a lot of guys who are your age or a little older, say if you're in your 40s and 50s, who got their shit together. Sure, they might have great credit and they might have a very clean car. They might have a home. But they ain't no fun. You know it. A lot of niggas 45 and up, they ain't no fun no more. They are out of gas. And they were out of gas 10 years before that. But they just didn't know it. And so my advice to the guys, because this is just from where I am. I used to work out a lot in high school and then to a certain part of my early 20s. I was really exercisable. I'm going to say my mid-20s. Maybe a little over the hump of mid-20s. I worked out a lot. Then I got to the point where I didn't work out at all. From like my late 20s. I don't even know if I worked out at all in my 30s. But I might have gave it a little run here and there, but maybe a little itsy-bitsy run, but that shit was not a priority until really I got 40. What happened was, and this happens to a lot of guys, but they probably don't articulate it this way. I was cruising physically on my in shape shit off what I did in high school and to my mid-20s. I was cruising. But then I ran out of that deposit of health. And then health caught up with me. I'm moving slow. I'm not giving a fuck. I'm lethargic. I got vices that'll help me with a good time, like Hennessy. That used to be a vice. You know, smoking on some weed. That was, whatever. And you can have a good time publicly, but you just don't have the energy to be doing all the shit that your woman wants. And I'm not just talking about in the bedroom. I'm just talking about you don't want to go to the thing over there. That shit way over there. Fuck that. And then you start coming up with these little handy-dandy excuses to make it seem like the cool shit ain't cool no more. And then you make your house real comfortable and you sit around. And then you start accumulating age exponentially because your ass is just sitting around. And you capping, you smoking cigars like that's what's up. Now you stink and you ain't working out. You a big stinky, not working out, low energy ass motherfucker. So, as a man, once your workout energy wears off, and once you ain't resting on the laurels of being fit from your younger ages, you gotta rebelliously work out like a savage. It has to become part of your life if you want your 40s and 50s to be beautiful. And even then, like once you start working out, it's not gonna kick in like that. It's gonna take time. Because you got to re-engineer all your shit to be working in concert. But then once it is working in concert, you good money. But in the meantime, while you not good money, your woman going to want to sit on somebody else's lap. Oh, she going to find her young boy, her NBA young boy, Santa Claus. And she going to sit in his lap. Damn, just because your ass didn't want to work out and eat right. So, you got simple questions with complex answers. It's just something to think about. I don't have the answers, and I forgive myself. I'm cool with not having the answers as long as I'm doing my best. I just wanted to bring this up to you. You know, how you gonna keep it gangster with the younger motherfucker who you plucked out the crowd to be your boy toy or your girl candy? How you gonna keep it gangster with them when they get emotional? What you gonna do? You gonna break their heart? You gonna stiff arm them for 4 or 5 years just so you could poke? Is that what you're gonna do? Who's gonna teach your young ones how to be a good lover? You gonna have them out here goofy, stumbling, bumbling? How do you do that? Hey, I'm just posing the questions and I'm doing my best. I forgive myself. And life is good when I can acknowledge that. So hopefully today, you get a good workout in, because as we've just stated, that matters. It's a lifestyle. And hopefully, you go to grindstoneuniversal.com. Make a purchase. You'll shine with what comes in the mail for you when you receive your pack. I'm Grindstone. This is episode 57 of Sorry for My Language, baby. And I'm out.